All right. So, Canucks fans, again, team's not in the dance this year. You still want to watch NHL hockey. So, who do you cheer for? Okay, I got the official rankings for you right here on Locked On Canucks. So, I have them broken down into tiers, okay? And the first tier, I have I guess Canada can break the drought tier. And first, I have the Ottawa Senators. Shout out to Travis Green. Shout out to Travis Hamonic. A couple ex-Canucks there. Shout out to Quinn Hughes' best friend, Brady Tkachuk. Plus, they're playing the Leafs. So, man, oh man, I'm rooting for Ottawa to get it all. Plus, the hometown of my wife. So I'm firmly on the Ottawa bandwagon. In second, I have the Winnipeg Jets. And in third, I have the Montreal Canadiens. I'm okay with any of these teams, but the Winnipeg Jets, obviously, they've never won a cup. Montreal's won lots, so I got Winnipeg ahead of Montreal. Let me get to 4 and 5, and I'll let you chime in here. So number 4, I have the root for the old guy tier with the Washington Capitals. Look, I got no beef with Ovi. I'm not really believing in them right now. But if they end up beating Montreal, I'd be okay to see them go on a run here. A lot of good vibes around that team. And at number 5, bringing it back to the Canucks, I have the should have owned the Canucks tier, and I have the Dallas Stars number 5. Shout out to Tom Gillard. He should have been the owner of the Vancouver Canucks, but here he is running a pretty darn good franchise down there in Dallas, Texas.
I know, man. Where's your loyalty? I could see why Kyle would leave you. Not the people, but you would leave Trevor Beggs. Talking to you every day, it's like talking to insanity. How do you have Montreal and Washington next to each other on these rankings of who you'd want to, see win the cup when they're playing each other in a couple hours? You know what I'm saying? It's too close. It's too close. Two likable teams, though. All right, and I think for me personally, I would have Ovechkin at number 2 and Ottawa at number 1. Just me. I like Brady Tkachuk. He could be a face of the league. Handsome dude. NHL offices talk about all the time. This is the face of hockey. Ovechkin, same thing. But yeah, Trevor, just a little misunderstanding there. I think I may have to look at who you have at 3 and 4. All that being said, too, I'm surprised Colorado isn't higher on your list because I'm just a big McKinnon fan. Big McKinnon fan, a big McCarr fan. Those two are just so fun to watch, and I'd much rather have those guys win than Draisaitl and McDavid. And I know they're at the end of your list, but those two mean a lot to the game too.
Yeah, there's some bitterness to me about Cale Makar, mind you, doing some brilliance in the playoffs because I want to see Quinn Hughes be the best defenseman in the world. But Colorado's pretty high up the list, and in fact, they are next on the list at number 6. It's the Joe Sakic vibes tier, the Colorado Avalanche. So yeah, I'm rooting for Dallas over Colorado, man. Shout out to Tom Gillardy, but the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, look, they're not really on the hate list by any means. But yeah, I've seen enough of Cale Makar lighting up the hockey world. I want Quinn Hughes to be the best defenseman, so I don't really want to see Cale Makar go on another magical run. That's number 6. Okay, let's go through the next couple ones. At number 7, I have at least they care about hockey here tier. Some U.S. fan bases, they can be a little skittish. Okay, they cheer for the teams through the good times, but at number 7 here, the Minnesota Wild fans, they cheer for their team through thick and thin. One of the best fan bases in the league. I don't really think they're going to beat the Vegas Golden Knights, but I'm hoping they can pull it off. The number 8, firmly in the middle, because it's the I have no feelings about them tier. It's the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't really root for the Hurricanes. I don't really root against the Hurricanes. They're just a team that exists. I don't really need to see another Southern team win a Stanley Cup. The Cup's been down there for far too long, in my opinion. Bring it back up north, but not to Edmonton and Toronto. Thank you very much. So Carolina at number 8 on the list. And let's go to number 9. Next up is the St. Louis Blues. It's the still bitter tier, the team that's in the playoffs at the Canucks' expense. I'm hoping Winnipeg beats them, but there's other teams that I want to see lose more than I want to see the St. Louis Blues lose.
St. Louis, man. Again, I just got here, Trevor, but how could you not be jealous? Because in the beginning of the year, I'm sorry, you're looking at the Canucks lineup, and you're like, yo, we're way better than St. Louis. You're looking at that game in January that arguably changed the Blues' season. When we whooped St. Louis and Brayden Schenn wasn't happy, he was questioning his franchise. They're like, yo, the Canucks are way better. Man, oh man, I know St. Louis collapsed in that third period against Winnipeg, but you never know. They could win a round or two, and as a Canucks fan, what a season. Like, look, I can't believe what happened. I can't believe and the NHL offices and Gary Bettman, they can't believe it too. But they're happy because the Canadian dollar sucks. Whoa, wait. You know what? Trevor, continue.
All right. So that was 6, 7, 8, 9, Avs, Wild, Hurricanes, Blues. And the next tier, it's the not Florida again tier. And I have at 10 the Tampa Bay Lightning, and at 11 the Florida Panthers. Look, I'm too bitter as a Canucks fan. I've seen too many Florida teams win before my team, so I don't really want to see either of these teams win again. But the Florida just won last year. I don't need to see Florida repeat, so I got Tampa just slightly ahead of Florida on the list. At number 12, this is the most interesting one to rank, and it's the Quinn Hughes bandwagon tier, and it's the New Jersey Devils. I initially had them a bit higher up this list. Look, I liked the Devils when I was growing up. I even had a Devils hat back when Corey Schneider was there.
Whoa.
But Mr. Roberts, I'm so used to Cobb being here, man. Unbelievable. You mentioned it earlier on, but if New Jersey bows out early in round one, maybe they feel the need to make more drastic changes. And I think as a Canucks fan, that's what matters most. You want to see New Jersey get a little skittish, maybe get a little bold, maybe get a little stupid on the trade market, because that's really the only way that the Canucks are ever going to land a player like Luke Hughes or Jack Hughes.
This is what I want happening, okay? I want the Devils beat. Completely butchered in 4 games. 4 games. Okay? Puck the Devils. And then after game 3, Sheldon Keefe is like, you know what? The reason why we lost today was because of Luke Hughes. In fact, I don't even know why he's here. And then you healthy scratch him for game 4. Boom, bam, you wreck the relationship. Boom, bam, Tom Willander, salary dump and Elias Pettersson for Luke Hughes. And you keep Quinn Hughes in Vancouver, okay? Trevor, you said you're losing your hair too. That's why you're always wearing hats. You need Quinn Hughes to stick around, and we need the Devils to suck ass.
We do need the Devils to suck ass. So that should be I hope the Devils suck ass tier, but I did name it the Quinn Hughes bandwagon tier. Okay, the last 4. Come on. No Canuck fan is cheering for any of these last 4 teams on the list. First, I have the knots in my stomach tier. At number 13, I have the LA Kings. At number 14, I have the Vegas Golden Knights. Again, the Vegas Golden Knights won pretty recently. I don't want to see either of these teams win, but I'd say I want to see the Vegas Golden Knights lose a little more than I want to see the Kings lose. Partly because the Kings are playing the Oilers in round 1, and the Oilers are at the bottom of my list in the vomit-inducing tier. So number 15, I have the Edmonton Oilers, and last on my list, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mr. Roberts, I don't know.
Wow.
You got some Canuck ties here. I don't know. I personally, I get the Leafs at the very bottom, okay? They're playing my Ottawa Senators, okay? My Ottawa Senators, the number 1 team on my list. I want to see Toronto lose. And look, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs coverage has been insufferable for a long, long time across Canada. I don't know if I can live in a world where the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup, but I don't want to see either of these teams win. But I'd say if it is an Oilers-Leafs final like Charles Barkley predicted, I think I'm holding my nose and cheering for Connor McDavid and his greatness to come home with the cup.